Hey guys, so today I'm going to go ahead here and make a quick little video comparing my Galaxy S3 Mini versus my original Galaxy Note Boy over here. And it's going to be fun to compare because the Galaxy Note was really the number one smartphone that changed my kind of smartphone experience and how I used phones, because it was so big. And it was one of the first phones that introduced these kinds of extremely large displays. So I want to compare it against the new Galaxy S3 Mini, which kind of looks like a Galaxy S3 but doesn't have as good specs, but of course it's cheaper. So let's go ahead and start off now, and we're gonna go ahead and do some testing. We're gonna go ahead and check out the design. We're gonna go ahead and talk specs, and yeah, we're just gonna have some fun over here. So let's get started. So the first thing, if you go ahead and look here at the design now, the obvious thing that you will notice here is that the Galaxy Note, it's bigger and it's meant a little bit to be used in another kind of way. So as you can see, when I hold these devices, of course both these will fit into my pocket, but one very big thing here of course is the size. That you just look at the width. It's the Galaxy S3 Mini is kind of like an iPhone. It has a 4-inch display versus the 5.3-inch display here that you get on the Galaxy Note, and it's extremely wide. The original Galaxy Note is extremely wide. I also checked out the prices, and I see that in my country, Sweden, the Galaxy Note here, the original one, cost around 100 bucks or around 500 kronor more than the Galaxy S3 Mini, so you might want to consider it. So that's why I'm doing this video. So the first thing that we see here is that you get like a more rounded off design here, Galaxy S3 design here on the little Galaxy S3 Mini, while you get a little bit more like a this is basically like a big Galaxy S2 because it's from late 2011. And it did come with the styles that Samsung is calling the S Pen, so you'll be able to take notes and stuff. And it has around the same specs as the Galaxy S2, but we'll take a little bit closer look there. But a little bit higher clocked in different kinds of areas, but it's not as rounded off as the Galaxy S3 Mini is, of course. If you take a look here, of course on the front both have a key down here to activate, or home button. And one thing here that we'll notice here at the top is that you get an LED light on the Galaxy S3 Mini, which could be kind of useful. Especially, I use it a lot with my Galaxy Note 2. When I get emails, or let's say someone kick me on Kick Messenger, this one will light up in different colors depending on the app. And it could be good, if you just want to see if something has happened to the device. You don't have to turn on the display. That's something that you don't really get here with the original Galaxy Note. Now, if you go ahead and take a look here at the bottom of the device, you both have charging port here, but on the Galaxy Note, of course, you'll also have the S Pen there. So if you go ahead and take a look here at the right side, we get the power on button, and then on the left side here we do get a volume up and down, and at the top we both have the kind of like a port or the headphone jack. Speaking about the back here, we do have only a 5-megapixel camera here on the Galaxy S3 Mini, which is a really bad thing because it kind of costs Galaxy S2 price right now. So I think it's kind of weird that you only get a 5-megapixel camera here. You should get at least like the Galaxy S2 camera that was an 8-megapixel one. You get also an 8-megapixel camera here on the Galaxy Note, and this was a camera that I really loved coming from a Galaxy S2. I think the camera is so awesome, especially in video mode. Like, audio quality is so amazing with the original Galaxy Note here. And we can see here we have the stereo, or the speaker, or the stereo, or whatever calling it. the speaker. Do you call it the speaker? Maybe, yeah. So here you get out sound here, and then you have it, I suppose, yeah, it's at the top here on the Galaxy S3 Mini, and then you have the flash here at the bottom and the flash over here. Now, one bad thing here with having the speaker, that the sound's coming from the back, is like when you use the device like this, that you kind of don't hear the sound as good. That's something that Apple did good, that they usually have it at the side here. That's extremely nice. Now let's go. No, I'm not gonna say go ahead. People hate when I say that. We're gonna go ahead and continue now, and we're gonna go ahead and check out some of the specs. And I mean, these devices are, I mean, in terms of pricing, the Galaxy Note in my country costs a little bit more. So it's extremely interesting here when we're going to go ahead and look at the specs. And specs wise, it's very interesting. First of all, there is an LTE variant of the Galaxy Note, but there's no LTE variant of the Galaxy S3 Mini. So I do know that in the US they have, on some carriers they have an LTE variant. In my country, Sweden, I don't have an LTE variant here of the Galaxy Note, so that doesn't mean I can get like super fast speeds. But if you live in the US, then of course that's a very big advantage there. In terms of width and size here, of course the Galaxy Note here, it's wider, as we clearly can see when we put them at the top. It's wider, it is longer as well, and then also pretty interesting, it's a little bit thinner. It's a little bit thinner, not by much, but a little bit. Both are very fat phones though, almost 1 centimeter both in kind of thickness. But of course, the Galaxy S3 Mini is a little bit thinner, and of course way easier to hold in the hands. You can hold it only almost like using one way. You don't have to move your hands around that much. While if you use this one, let's say in your bed, it's extremely you know, wide. Even, I mean, like the new Galaxy Note 2 is not even as wide as this one. So, you know, Samsung really has tweaked the design and made it better here in the Galaxy Note 2. And also they made it better in the Galaxy Note 2 is they moved down the power button so it's easier to reach. And also they moved down the volume up and down keys, which is extremely useful. And I really like that Samsung made those efforts and, you know, did fix that. Now, if you go ahead and look at the screen, both are of course Super AMOLED displays. So, I mean, like they're kind of using the same technology, so both are extremely good displays here, and you won't really like see a difference here at least. And I should probably add a city here so you can see the same here. But it's a Super AMOLED screen on both, and both looks amazing. But one thing that I should mention here is you get higher resolution screen here and higher pixels per inch on the Galaxy Note, so it's better for reading. And also nice for reading, you know, because it's very big and very wide. And if you talk about the pixels per inch, the PPI, 285 pixels per inch with a resolution of 1280x800 here on the Galaxy Note, while you get the pixels per inch of 233. So you get on the Galaxy S3 Mini with resolution of 800x480. So you get around 50 more pixels per inch on the Galaxy Note, and we'll take a little bit closer look there, especially in reading, and if we'll see a little bit difference there maybe. 5.3 inch display versus a 4 inch display, and 5.3 inch, while that sounds extremely big, that, I mean, you will get used to it. And it's kind of funny that the new Galaxy Note 2 that have come out, it has even bigger display, 5.5 inch, and of course that's my main phone. But it doesn't feel like it's bigger because Apple or Samsung tweaked the design, so it's not as wide. It's a little bit longer, but longer, that's cool because that doesn't affect that much how you hold the device in your hands. But you will probably get used to it. Most of the people that seems to buy the Galaxy Note will hate it the first week and then love it. Now, also it seems like the Galaxy Note here is using Gorilla Glass on top, so not Gorilla Glass 2, as of course the new 2012 behind phones like Galaxy 3 and and the Galaxy Note 2 is using, but it has some kind of Gorilla Glass on top that should protect it against a lot of scratches. Why? It doesn't seem like you not even get Gorilla Glass here on the Galaxy S3 Mini, which I think sounds very weird there, weird move there from Samsung. SD card both of course have a removable battery, which I really like that Samsung has pulled off, and you know, that you can remove the back, you can remove the battery, you can buy a spare battery, so you can always have a, you know, extra battery. You can just pump it in, put it in, and of course you have SD card option as well. But both, I have a 32GB SD card right now inside my Galaxy S3 Mini, and I can stuff in a 32GB SD card as well in the Galaxy Note. Now, something I think is kind of horrible there with Android is that you can't use that kind of if you have an SD card in like 32 GB, you can't like install games on it, especially not with the latest Android ICS. And Jelly Bean seems like they removed that option, move games and stuff to SD card, which they had in Gingerbread version of Android, which I think is kind of weird. But if you take a lot of pictures, I still recommend that you go ahead and buy an SD card. It's wonderful, it's amazing. And if you're gonna go ahead and take pictures, you should really take a look here if you are on a budget here. Go with the Galaxy Note because it has an 8 megapixel camera versus the horrible 5 megapixel camera only on the Galaxy S3 Mini. Now, in terms of built-in, the Galaxy Note here comes in 16 and 32 GB variants, while you only get an 8 and 16 GB variant here of the Galaxy S3 Mini. And I only have 8 GB version here of the Galaxy S3 Mini. It's kind of bad because I can only have like one high-end game install at the same time, even though I have an SD card, because you can't like install games on the SD card, which is really something that I hope that gets improved with Android in the future, because it's really annoying. Now, if you take a look at the camera, of course you get an 8 megapixel camera here, as I said earlier, and also a front-facing camera that's pretty decent on the Galaxy S, while you only get a 5 megapixel camera here on the Galaxy S3 Mini. But I suppose it's decent for if you don't take extremely a lot of pictures and you just take random pictures sometimes. If we go ahead now and continue on and check about some more internal specs here, I can say things like the chipset that's being used here is also pretty interesting. You get Samsung's own chipset, the Exynos chipset, inside of the Galaxy Note, while you only get some kind of Novator U8420 chipset here inside of the Galaxy S3 Mini. Also, the processor is kind of the same at both of these, but it's higher clocked at the Galaxy Note, so it's a 1.4 GHz based on Cortex A9 processor on the Galaxy Note here, while you get a 1 GHz dual-core Cortex A9 processor here on the Galaxy S3 Mini. So both are dual-core smartphones, so you get 2 cores. And also, speaking about the GPU, they're kind of using the same GPU almost. You get the Mali 400 MP GPU on the Galaxy Note, and MP, I'm pretty sure it stands for multi-processor or something, while you only get the Mali 400 without MP on the Galaxy S3 Mini. Now, also speaking about the battery capacity, you get a 2500 wonderful battery here on the Galaxy Note, while you only do get 1500 milliamp on the Galaxy S3 Mini, and that's a little bit less than what you do get on the Galaxy S2. Still, I'm pretty sure that they made some improvements here in terms of the software, so the battery could probably last around the same, because this is more pixels and a little bit higher processor and GPU, and if you do a lot of gaming you probably get around the same. But battery is wonderful on these kind of almost tablet smartphones from Samsung. If you go ahead now and take a quick look at some testing, we are gonna first of all going to go ahead and fire up a game, and this was kind of interesting. I tried to download Need for Speed. I tried to download Need for Speed Most Wanted to have to work on my Galaxy Note, but I couldn't because it doesn't support it. So that's a very weird thing here with Android phones from 2011. Some phones doesn't get supported by new games, even though they have the hardware for it. So I couldn't install Need for Speed Most Wanted here on my Galaxy Note, but we're gonna go ahead and fire up Asphalt here and check out the gaming experience. And as I said, the GPU is better here on the Galaxy Note than on the Galaxy S3 Mini. Both are Mali 400, but you get the MP variant here on the Galaxy Note. But just for purpose, I quickly want to go ahead and take a quick gaming look here as well, and then I'm gonna go ahead. Then I'm gonna go ahead and fire up Need for Speed Most Wanted here on the Galaxy S3 Mini. And of course, gaming experience is totally amazing here. It's a whole new experience to play on a big smartphone than only a 4-inch device. I'm talking to you, Apple iPhone 5 users. There we go. So just go ahead and no, I'm not gonna play a tutorial. Let's go ahead and fire up just a quick game here on the latest game here from Gameloft. I mean, latest Asphalt game at least. No thanks. Okay, interesting. Let's see here how the FPS performs. It feels like the FPS is you can play the game, but I'm pretty sure that when I tried this game on a Galaxy S3 Mini, it kind of runs a little better, and that just tells us a lot about software optimization that you probably do get with the new Galaxy S3 Mini. That Samsung's probably has put in a ton of work to get the software to work better. You can play the game here, sure, but it seems like the FPS is around around 20 maybe. So you can still get a pretty good experience here. It's pretty like stable here at around 20 maybe. But of course not as good as on high-end Android smartphones. And I'm pretty sure that the S3 Mini performed a little bit better, even though it only has the Malak 400 and not with the MP. This could of course maybe get improved when the official, I'm pretty sure that when the official Android 4.1 Jelly Bean hopefully comes out for the Galaxy Note. This is also one thing. I mean, like, this device is a year old, so Samsung probably don't focus too much about, you know, software updates with it. While with the S3 Mini, they're probably gonna work a little bit more to get the software to work better. But still, I think for most people, I mean, like, this will be pretty decent in the long run. It's still like a good experience, and you don't think too much about that the FPS is a little bit lower. After a while, I'm pretty sure. It's just that, you know, the first startup experience here, when you play the game, you feel it a little bit, but then you get kind of used to it, I'm pretty sure, then, you know, you can definitely play the game. So, let's see here. So, some quick gaming here on the Galaxy Note there. Let's go ahead now and check out another game here, Need for Speed Most Wanted. And you'll see that you can play, you know, games here with awesome performance, also on, or awesome, decent performance here, new games on the S3 Mini. There's also, I mean, like, the chipset is also different. I mean, as I said, you get Exynos, Samsung's own custom-made Exynos chipset here inside of the Galaxy Note, where you get this kind of Novator U84 kind of ish 20 chipset inside of the S3 Mini. Not quite sure why Samsung did that. Maybe it's better. And especially this game from Electronic Arts, or from EA, is extremely optimized for a lot of different devices. Too bad though that this Need for Speed Most Wanted game is not available for my Galaxy Note. I find that very weird. I was able to download it, but when I turned on the game, it said that, you know, this game ain't available or something for that device. And here the performance is even better than when I played Asphalt 7. Here I can definitely feel that, you know, the FPS is a lot higher, which is definitely something that I do appreciate a ton. I can almost say that the FPS is around 30 here, so very good performance. And I'm pretty sure that this game will run even more amazing on the Galaxy Note here if it was supported. But still, of course, there's a ton of more games than just, you know, these two games that is available. And I think it all comes down to a very big thing here is, do you want a big display? Do you want a big display or not? Do you want a little bit slim, kind of iPhone-ish phone, Android smartphone that performs kind of good here, or do you want a big boy? It's one of the very big things. And also, do you like to take notes? Do you like to be creative? That could also be something that you might want to consider. But really, really like stable performance here, and I really do appreciate that a ton. And a lot of fun with games like this, kind of like Burnout style. So, some quick look here. Now, let's go ahead and check out some web browsing, and also some, of course, some app, opening up some apps here. One thing also I can say about the display here, even though they're both using Super AMOLED, I'm just gonna see if this one can fire up. One thing that I find very, very annoying here with the S3 Mini when I did buy it is that I don't get any haptic feedback, not getting any vibration from the buttons, the capacitive buttons here when I tap on them, and I didn't find a way to activate that inside of the settings as I've been able to find on other devices. I find that very, very, very weird. And annoying as hell. Also, as I said, both are using Super AMOLED. Both are using Super AMOLED displays here, but it seems it seems like the screen colors is a little bit better calibrated here on the S3 Mini. White looks more white here than on the Galaxy Note here. It kind of almost looks a little bit more of like a yellowish feeling, which I'm really not sure why it is doing that. Maybe you can calibrate this yourself, maybe not. But definitely looks better here on the S3 Mini. Now let's go ahead and load up a website here. Let's go ahead and load up one of my favorite websites, or not favorite websites, I mean like favorite company. They're doing a lot of good things, and they are being called Pocket now. They have lots of awesome reviews on smartphones. There we go. Okay, both are loading. There we go. The Galaxy Note finished up a little bit earlier, now, of course, the first thing that you will notice here is that you see everything a little bit bigger here, of course, on a bigger display. And if you go ahead and try to zoom in, it's extremely quick here to respond, and something that I always like with the Galaxy Note here and Samsung's own browser inside of TouchWiz is that it's extremely snappy here, and it stops immediately when you're trying to pinch to zoom. Everything else in the background stops to render and stuff. Let's go ahead and do the same thing here on the S3 Mini. And kind of the same performance. It feels like it zooms in a little bit quicker and a little bit faster zooms in than on the I don't have to pinch as much on the S3 Mini, but in terms of that performance, extremely good. Now if you go ahead and zoom in here on both, and let's go ahead and move around, and I think actually it could be probably a little bit more smooth here on the S3 Mini because of probably software optimizations, and then I'm running official Android 4.1 Jelly Bean RAM from Samsung. But I'm pretty sure that you can get kind of the same experience here on the Galaxy Note because it's rocking a little bit better specs here. But in terms of browser, they both seems to be very much the same. And also, let's see how rendering goes when we go in and then go out. Seems like, let's see here, do that one more time. Seems like it probably could render that a little bit quicker here also on the S3 Mini, but overall feels like it's kind of the same. And also, if you go ahead and look here at text sharpness, I mean, you can't really tell a difference here. You probably notice a bigger difference especially when we go ahead and check out some quick Kindle reading. But the text, white looks definitely a little bit better here on the S3 Mini. Okay, interesting. Seems like I could have failed over there. Now, let's go ahead and check out some of the colors here. No, I can't zoom in because it's redirected me to the mobile version. Now, let's go ahead and go up and down. For some reason, when I'm trying to go up and down, it's very, very poor here. There we go. And I really do hate the tab system here. It seems like it's like easier to go up and down on the Galaxy Note, especially on this website. Pretty weird. But it's way, way easier to go up and down here, especially on the Galaxy Note. It's extremely hard to do it here. And I really do hate this tab system. It sucks. It sucks so bad. They should do the same thing that Google's doing with the Chrome browser. Really annoying here. I'm not sure why it doesn't work here on the S3 Mini. But generally, you know, the screen's a little better here on the S3 Mini, but it seems like when you go up and down. Okay, now I'm having the same problem here on the Note. The browsing experience is kind of the same, and that is something that you might want to know. Now, let's also go ahead and try one more website. And of course, this is a little bit easier to type here, especially when you can use two hands on the Galaxy Note, because it has such a big display. But then I also find that the software is a little bit sluggish here on the Galaxy Note, and shouldn't be as sluggish because that's a little bit better hardware than the S3 Mini. But it seems like I'm running some better ROM here on the S3. Oh my god, this one isn't loading the full website. Gonna go ahead and take a quick look here, also add some colors. There we go, very, very slow there at loading the site. It's probably because I'm running this horrible software, or firmware that some people like to call it. Now, and also a very, very big thing here about the displays, and something that you will notice when you get your hands on. If you know, when you have these kind of 5-inch smartphones, and when you browse the web, just the experience with such a much bigger display is so much powerful. You know, it's so much more cool when you see so much more content, and the text and everything is so much bigger. I remember when I got the Galaxy Note and I was starting off to, you know, browse with it. It was just so amazing to put it down on the table and just enjoy the browsing experience. Wow, I don't feel the same on a smaller display like the S3 Mini. It doesn't really feel as cool. So I would say, I mean, personally, this display is so big, and the performance is very much similar. But I would say that even though the colors is a little bit better here, especially white on the S3 Mini, that the winner here is the Galaxy Note. You know. Exiting out of apps here, you can see that I'm running like a poor firmware here, but it's still Android 4.1 Jelly Bean here on the Galaxy Note. Now, let's go ahead and continue. And we're gonna go ahead and check out the camera software a little bit quick here. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with this guy. And I've been taking so many pictures with the Galaxy Note. I just love it. It's so awesome, you know. And as you can see, it takes pictures and zooms it or focus very, very good. And it has this 8-megapixel shooter. And also, if I didn't mention it, or I did mention it earlier, especially when you record videos, the audio quality is so amazing compared to other devices. It's so amazing with the Galaxy Note. So good, so amazing. And that's something that you might want to consider. And of course, you do have these normal things like sepia effects and all those good things built in. It doesn't have burst mode, of course, like the new devices from 2012 has, but this is a late 2011 device, so I mean, I can definitely understand that. But you do have some cool effects here, like black and white. And it takes pictures with like amazing quality, I think. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at this camera that ain't as good. It's a 5 megapixel one. And as you can see, it takes a little bit more time to focus. You don't see as many details. But you can take pictures probably a little bit quicker here. But it's not, of course not as in as good quality. But then of course you do have the same kind of effects here that you get inside of the Galaxy Note. So quickly look there at cameras. If cameras is a very important thing for you, maybe you want to invest a little bit more money here in the Galaxy Note and then, you know, install an awesome firmware for it. Now, if we go ahead and continue, let's go ahead and stream some YouTube video. So we're gonna go ahead and fire up YouTube here. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and fire up my page here. Oops. Let's go ahead and go to my uploads. Let's go ahead and fire up a video over here. Okay, loaded a little bit quicker here on the Galaxy Note. As you can see, we get some black bars here, which I'm gonna show why we do get. Wait a sec. Yeah, we do get the black bars on both these devices. Of course, you can see that the video is being played in HD on both these two devices. And there's not that much to say. The display look the same. You won't really see a big difference there. Now let's go ahead and fire up another one.
Hey guys, so today we will be talking about
So this video has a little bit more white to it. And from what I can say here is that yes, it looks actually a little bit better. Here I can see it again probably. The white looks a little bit better here on the Galaxy S3 Mini. But not extremely big deal, if you ask me. And you can see that exiting out of apps is quicker there on the S3 Mini. Let's go ahead and do some quick testing here. We're gonna go ahead and download an app from the Play Store. And of course the Play Store is where you get all the apps in Android. So we're gonna go ahead and type in like Reckless Rising. We're gonna go ahead and see which one downloads the app faster. Okay, let's go ahead and install. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, there we go. It seems like it was a little bit quicker here on the Galaxy Note. Oh, it has stopped. Okay, weird. So there's some weird thing there with that app. So no big deal. But a little bit quicker there in downloading an app on the Galaxy Note, and maybe a bigger difference there if you download it like a way bigger app, but could be kind of interesting there to know. Let's go ahead and do some quick speed testing here with the famous speedtest.net app. I agree. Let's go ahead and see. Kind of funny, you can see that this app doesn't seem to be optimized for the Galaxy Note. You can see that you get big black borders here, kind of the same as you did get with the iPhone 5 when it was new, and has a little bit bigger display than the iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S, and it didn't utilize the whole screen. Pretty funny. It looks very weird here though. Let's go ahead and change server. So they're running at the same server. Let's go ahead and begin here on the Galaxy Note. And we're gonna go ahead and do this like 3 times, see which one finish up quicker and which one that seems to be a little bit more stable. Wow, upload speed doesn't seem to be very good. So 8 milliseconds, okay, let's see. Seems to be maybe a little bit more stable here on the S3 Mini in terms of speeds. Okay, S3 Mini takes the first round here. Okay, around very low again on the upload side. Let's go ahead and see. Seems to be way more stable here on the S3 Mini, but it could also be the app, you know. But upload seems to be very much better. I mean, like, uTorrent is available right now for Android, you know. So if you're gonna do some uploading from your device, maybe the S3 Mini is the boy to go with. I'm really not sure. Okay, there we go, a little bit higher, but doesn't feel as stable as with the S3 Mini. Not even close. Okay, so the S3 Mini takes all the rounds there. It seems to be way better. But I mean, like, that's just an app. I mean, real world performance is of course way more fun and way more important to know. Let's go ahead and fire up the Amazon Kindle now. And this is one of the things that, you know, where the Galaxy Note really kills, because it has a bigger display. It's amazing if you're gonna go ahead and do a lot of reading, and the pixels per inch is around 50 more PPIs higher than the S3 Mini. But then of course white looks a little better here on the S3 Mini. So as you can see, maybe the text is a little bit too small here than what I would have. I find that the text looks kind of weird here to read. I'm not sure why, but the text formatting seems to be very weird here on the S3 Mini. Seems like it has very big spacing. So it's probably not the best phone if you're going to go ahead and do a lot of reading. And I can really see that the PPI is very bad here, it seems like, compared to the Galaxy Note. And text formatting actually looks, I think, very weird here on the S3 Mini, but white looks a little better. But I would say that, you know, the killer here, that especially is, you know, the Galaxy Note, and especially because it has such a huge display. And text looks extremely good. Wow. Let's go ahead and try to do it a little big again. When you're trying to have the same kind of size here, I mean, like, you can see so much more text here on the Galaxy Note. It looks kind of weird, I think, or a lot weird here on the S3 Mini. I'm not sure why the spacing seems to be very big here. But if you're gonna go ahead and do reading, wow, and a lot of browsing, wow, the Note is a killer deal here. So some quick look at that as well. Now let's go ahead and check out some hardcore benchmarking. Gonna go ahead and fire up Antutu. That has been updated here, as you can see. And here we got the old score here, but we're gonna go ahead and do this one more time. Let's go ahead and start the test. And I'm gonna go ahead and test out a lot of things with the device. Or with the devices, I mean. And we'll see, I'm pretty sure that the chipset, the Exynos chipset, is better than Nova Tor U8420. But something that I definitely, you know, when I bought the Galaxy Note, it was coming with like Android 2.3. And then I got the Android 4.0 ICS update, and then it felt like the device were being extremely sluggish, even with the official update, compared to Android 2.3. and I found that kind of weird, especially right now when I have the S3 Mini and it's rocking like the latest version of Android, like 4.1 Jelly Bean. And I know that 4.2 is out right now, but only for Nexus devices. But it's almost like the latest, version of Android. This one has a little bit lower specs in some areas than the Note, but it still seems that it's a little bit more snappier, especially in sometimes when you open and close apps. But that could just be because I'm running on a very, very poor firmware here on my Galaxy Note. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the official 4.1 Jelly Bean is not out for the Galaxy Note. It's going to come out for Galaxy S2 in February. So the Galaxy Note, the original Note that I'm using here is probably also going to get it by that time, and then it's probably going to perform way better than what it's doing right now. So in this kind of test, we can see that the S3 Mini here is probably going to finish up first. Okay, there we go. So we got a score of 7,000, a little bit higher here than previous score here on the S3 Mini. And now we're gonna see with my boy here, my Galaxy Note I used for 6 months, bro. Let's see what it gets. If it's gonna pawn this ass. It's probably gonna pawn it. It's probably gonna pawn it. Like a balls. Like a balls. Like a balls, 8,500. Not extremely much higher, but that's kind of the score that we did expect, because the CPU is a little bit higher clocked. You can probably you can probably do it yourself if you're a crazy geek on the S3 Mini, overclock the processor. But then we do have the Exynos boy here that I'm pretty sure is better than the Nova Tor chips that we get on the S3 Mini. But they're kind of the same. RAM's a little better here. Speaking about RAM, both have like 1 GB built in. And also, the resolution is a little bit higher, so when you did see FPS testing, of course, it was a little bit more, demanding there. So if you go ahead now and sum it up, why would you buy the Note? Well, one big thing here why I probably would pick the Note instead of the S3 Mini. Sure, it costs a little bit more, but you get the better screen, and I mean, yeah, white looks a little bit better here, it seems like, on the S3 Mini. But with better screen, I mean that it's most of the time bigger, and the PPI is better, and especially if you do Kindle reading and a lot of web browsing, a lot of text, maybe use the Feedly app. This one's amazing. The display is big, and I like big displays, and if you never experienced such a big display, you really need to do that. Also, that you do get the S Pen, and I didn't show it off that much in this video. And as we see, I don't have H body over here that pops up quickly. I can make a note, but you can make notes. And even though the S Pen is not as good as on the new Galaxy Note 2, it's still very nice. It's still very cool to show off for your friends. Then also, it has a little bit better CPU. I mean, a little bit high clocked. The GPU is also a little better, Mali 400 MP instead of Mali 400. And one very big thing here, the camera is amazing. 8 megapixel camera versus the 5 megapixel shooter that you only get here on the S3 Mini. So that's some of the reasons why I would pick up the Galaxy Note here. And the big thing is that it has a bigger display. Now, what would you pick up the S3 Mini? Well, if you are coming from an iPhone, maybe, you know, this one is perfect because it's not as big, it's not too big. It even feels better holding than like an iPhone because, I mean, the screen is 4-inch, same as an iPhone 5, but it's more slimmed down, has more curves, feels almost like an iPhone 3GS. I kind of like that feeling. I always like curved devices. Also that you get some new games that you don't get on the Galaxy Note because some developers stopped supporting like the Galaxy Note, like Need for Speed Most Wanted. I couldn't install it here on my Galaxy Note. Also you get the LED light, which is extremely useful for me if you get a lot of Gmails and you want to see when you get the new mail, or if you use like a Kik Messenger or something, you want to see when you get new messages. You can easily do that just by, you know, that this one will light up. Pretty cool. And then also that you get the Galaxy S3 design is a little bit cool. I kind of like that design, kind of nature phone. Feels extremely good, and also that the latest software feels snappier here than what I do get on the Galaxy Note. But you know, if you play around with firmwares, you can probably get kind of the same experience, especially software-wise. It's a tiny bit better, I think, here because, you know, Samsung has worked hard to get a good Android 4.1 Jelly Bean update here for the S3 Mini. Well, that one update is not even available here, I'm pretty sure, on the Galaxy Note. It's probably going to come out in February, just as the Galaxy S2's 4.1 Jelly Bean update. So yeah, quick little video here showing it off. Please, if you like this video, you can leave feedback down below, and you know, if you did like the video, you can hit that like button, and I'll bring out more videos. And if you have any specific review you want to see, please tell me that in the comment section down below, and I will see you all in the next video, hopefully. Yeah, peace out.